I think the most important thing with financial planning is first to identify what things cost, kind of like what Sean was saying about you have a baseline cost. And I think I referred to that exact terminology too of like, how much does it cost for me to live? How much is my food? How much is my shelter? How much is my car? And then you look at the business side and you go, how much does it cost to operate? If you're online, then you have hosting, you might have to pay for an email, you might have like software you have to pay for. If you have a physical location, then obviously you have rent, you might have employees. So if you can start off knowing what things cost and you can figure out, okay, I'm selling widgets for $100 a piece and it costs me $10,000 to operate, then I need to sell X number of widgets in order for me to not only pay Uncle Sam, but also to cover my baseline and holding your money accountable. And it's really like it's developing a habit. If you are familiar with T. Harv Eker in the what is the book called, the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, he talks about the buckets and he says if you don't have the percentages to do 50% into your living and operating expense and then all the other percentages that I mentioned, you start off with setting each bucket. So you have a tax bucket. Every single dollar that comes in, 30 cents goes into that tax bucket, 15 cents goes into the tax bucket, whatever allocation. And you become like religious about putting it into that bucket. Then you pay yourself, you take 10% and you put it into the other bucket. And once the buckets are there, then you're only looking at that bucket and you're like, okay, this is how much I have to pay for my stuff here. This is how much I have to pay for my stuff here. This is how much I have to pay for my stuff here. And it becomes a process, and nobody expects you to figure it out yourself. That's why there are financial professionals to help you walk through it. And I mean, I want to expose you guys to that concept because if you don't start small, where you're at now, then when you get really big, and let's say, everyone says save 10%, saving 10% of $100 is a lot easier to develop the habit than saving 10% of $100 million. A shift in the mindset. I know that finance is a huge topic. Like there's like I said in the chat, it's like you're out in the ocean, and if you don't have a navigation, if you don't have a system in place, you're going to get taken over by the waves. But as you approach finance, as you approach anything in life, it's you want to take your mindset to a point of like, what do I want? If you can define what the end result it is, whether it's in your relationship and your finance and your health, if you are clear about what is the end result that I want, then you can start asking your questions of like, how do I get from where I'm at to where I'm going? And I think a lot of people, they like finance is such a taboo topic that we've grown up not talking about. So once you immerse yourself into business, it's easy to talk about all these different fancy terms, social media marketing and this and that. But then you talk about like basic financial concepts we've never been exposed to. I don't even know where to start. And you think about like, okay, the end result that I want is I want to be comfortable. I want to be safe. I want to have some level of security and I want control over my financial future. Then you can answer in backwards, looking at it and say, okay, I'm here now. I'm currently not comfortable. How do I become comfortable? I'm currently not secure. How do I become secure? What would have to happen for me to feel this way? I hope that helps.